Good evening, summoners, and welcome back to the League of Legends Varsity League. We are your shoutcasters for the 6th game, the last game of tonight's broadcast. My name is Vulcan, and with me is Atlas, your shoutcasters entering the second game of match 3 between UST Talon Tigers versus FIT Tamaraos.
It's really now a test of how they can adapt from the situation they got in from last game. Right now, it seems like UST Talon Tigers has the advantage. They have the momentum. It's really up to the FIT Tamaraos to actually pull back and rubber band into this match.
But don't stretch too much, or you're going to break that rubber band.
It might break the rubber band. So it's really a balance of how much they want to change up how they play. And it's really about the adaptation. Last game, Talon Tigers had a very clean win after they were able to take advantage of Tamaraos' composition and just using the Tristana along with the 2 support to absolutely destroy them.
I mean, the shielding itself provides AD, and you're pairing that with the Lulu that gets more damage with his little fairy. That just secured UST's first win for game 1. But now let's move on to game 2 before going to drafting phase. But I would really want to see how FIT will adapt, because as far as I can see, there were so many plays where I felt like they weren't playing as a team. Yeah,
I felt like observing how they were playing, it seems like there's a few miscommunications and miscalculations that led to them being able to take an advantage of by Spiegel. And that was just him jumping around, and I was thinking, wait, FIT can totally take this fight. They can totally kill Spiegel before his supports can keep him alive. So right now, I'm hoping that they will be able to actually get that adaptation, work as a team, and then take out the important threats. Let's see, UST now on the blue side will be banning out Talia from set, and of course, FIT does not want anything to do with that Tristana from last game.
So bans on to FIT for Tristana and
Gangplank taking out from Ashira.
I wonder why the Gangplank has been removed by Ashira, because despite being another free lane for FIT to actually scale, that's not really a powerful top laner.
The laning is definitely bad. However, in one of the previous matches, if you observed, one of the Gangplank was at half of the CS of its opposing laner, but had 5,000 more gold because of how much gold he gets from Kleptomancy as well as Dispel Thieves. But here, it is banned out, so no sense in just talking about it. Maokai banned out against FIT, so once again, FIT banning out lots of engage and tankiness, as well as Spiegel's star pick from last game. Ornn is left open, however, because of banning out the Tristana, so this will be UST's priority for sell.
I love how they are quick to just grab this opportunity to get the Ornn, because when you're talking about top lane, gone are the days where you would even consider the fighters.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
Now you would go for Maokai, you could go for, let's say, more tanky champions. Let's say you would not prioritize, let's say, the Renekton anymore.
Yeah.
God, the Jarvan in the top lane is okay, but not as powerful as it used to be. So I love how they immediately get, let's say, the jungler Kayn hover there, but the Leona as a support quickly counters the Janna, because this is something that FIT was banking on, the Janna to be the redeeming lane. But now they'll be picking up the Cho'Gath for the top lane.
Seems like they will be locking in Kayn as well. UST, a little bit of innovation. In the first game, they had a Janna going to the mid lane, using the new runes, using the power of the Tristana with the press the attack. And now they will be using the Kayn, likely in the jungle, to do their work. And now for the second rotation of bans, they are still focusing everything on Spiegel and just taking out as many power picks as they can. As for UST, banning out Sets, Malzahar, very strong champion in general, as well as the Varus. So
way to really remove Neil's potential to actually snowball. Removing the Varus was a good call for UST, but FIT responds quickly by removing the Caitlyn, removing Tristana, and the Ezra. Clearly, they don't want the Spiegel to really snowball, but yet again, there is that Vayne. If that Vayne goes for the pressy attack, we might see the same result where we see a snowballing lane, or it could be the footwork Vayne that's really slippery.
It's really going to be, we'll see that when they go to lane, but for now, UST has 280 carries. One in the mid lane will be Sarah on that Corki, as well as a Vayne in the bot lane. could be very, very potent with the Leona as soon as he's able to just put out a lot of damage by just engaging and then constantly DPSing them down. As for FIT, they're looking for a little more safety. Zaya with the self-peel, as going for the barrier heal lane with the Janna. As for the mid lanes, also a little bit of disengage. There is the Azir with the Conquering Sands into the Emperor's Divide. Could be a lot of disengage potential, but it seems like UST just wants to kill them from afar with their ranged champions.
Oh, this is going to be a very powerful pick for Talon Tigers, especially the fact that you have a Corki mid. Can really be a snowball heavy champion, and seeing how the Talon Tigers love to snowball, let's see once they load up onto the rim.
Everything here, let's check it out. UST Talon Tigers 1 point ahead of FIT Tamaraos. They can probably get another win here if FIT is not able to recover from last game.
So let's see, will FIT recover and then, you know, show us that they are still in the race to be one of the top 3 teams in the LVL.
They have to be absolutely precise in their movements with a composition that has Kayn, that has Ornn and Leona, with their AD carries between Corki and Vayne. This is a team that has points of weakness, UST. They have powerful spikes when they have their cooldowns up, but when they are vulnerable, and that's supposed to be where FIT is supposed to attack them.
And then when they do excel when it comes to, let's say, picking off the weakest point of these champions, leave it to UST to try and fight back strong. One of the champions, ex-champions of the LCL, now moving on to the LVL. Let us see right now in this Game 6.
We'll be seeing here as it's just regular level 1s, but looking at where the junglers are starting on their blue buff side, so really focusing on opposite sides of the map for their first clears.
When you're talking about clears, leave it to the Corki to really outpush this Azir, because Azir, you gotta wait for that level 3 to be, you know, more useful, deal more damage, because Azir naturally scales towards the mid game, and I think Corki can easily abuse this. But now in the bot lane, clearly the matchup is not in favor of FIT.
Especially here in the level 1, where Neil doesn't have the Blade Caller to really up his threat in the fight, while Espiegel can just tumble around applying press the attack while Cresho tries to CC them.
Atlas, short recap of the drafting. Remember that the Ornn was first prioritized? Okay, picking Cho'Gath to an Ornn is suicide.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
all the percent health.
Yeah, Ornn scales with percent health, maximum percent health damage, and you're gonna pick an Cho'Gath towards an Ornn. Clearly, you're just asking to lose lane. I don't know why FIT is thinking, but let's see. Could this be the synergy they would be using for the Sejuani?
It could be. It is quite a powerful combination, but yeah, as you said, good on pointing that out. The percent health damage from being brittle and being attacked by Ornn or being CC'd in general is just so much of a death sentence for Ashera here, but let's see, he is still survivable in lane, but if he's ever applied pressure on by Babyface, it could be trouble.
As for Babyface, he is running this Kayn jungle, but yeah, that's the result of the damage from the Bellows Breath, and then the brittle stack onto the Cho'Gath. That's going to be very painful. Not to mention, I don't think the passive of the Cho'Gath will even, you know, regenerate him fast
enough. And it's also the fact that at these low levels, before he gets
look at Babyface.
That's a lot of damage.
So much damage and a burn coming from the red buff. And you have to respect the speed of the Kayn's roam around the map, because that's something that the Kayn really excels at. But now you're pairing that up against a Sejuani. Very low mobility, very slow clear.
And just dance around him, continue to pressure him. And right now, Babyface is threatening to take his Grom.
But he does make it away thanks to his Shadow Wall.
He's still trying to pressure this one.
He's just playing with his food, just really buying some time. At this point,
denying him resources as well.
Babyface has more CS compared to Sejuani. Clearly more camp clear on his side. But for FIT, they really have to match the clear speed of this Kayn and the response that this Kayn can do.
Look at that. Babyface is still trying to pressure out Mint from ganking any sort of lane, and he's just hovering around this river looking for something against Mint. It could be dangerous, but he seems to know what he's doing, looking at the minimap.
He clearly enjoys doing it. I mean, just really picking on the Sejuani.
Babyface could be in
Already down
trouble.
half health. Here comes some help from the bot lane, but
man.
the Azir will not push through. Looks like they are just... Okay, I think this is what Babyface wants. Draw attention to himself and then buy some time for his team. Perhaps, I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because of that, Espiegel as well as Sarah are able to push back the lane a little bit, and Babyface gets a little bit more progress onto his transformation, because that's really when Kane's power spike is achieved, when he transforms into either Shadow form, Shadow Master form, or to his Darkened form.
And looking at the top lane matchup, looks like the Cho'Gath will be pushing this Ornn in his little turret. As for first items, clearly he will be going for the Righteous Glory, picking up the Glacial Shroud by the Cho'Gath, builds towards the Righteous Glory. Very quick rush there. Instantly want to be that quick on champion who just wants to gobble up the carries.
He really wants to catch up to Sarah and Espiegel, but then again, it can be quite difficult because of the Condemn as well as all the CC that Cresho has.
Clearly, I mean, the Righteous Glory does offer huge movement speed.
It does.
But does not offer the CC invulnerability. But right now,
oh, this is going to be Mint coming from behind. They
finally
still have
for the
their
backside
summoners.
here. First blood still at stake in the bot lane. Teleport is channeling through. Looks like Cell will be joining in for the bot lane. He does take it away. Calls the Forge God.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that is a
Wait.
bad play. Oh my God. Very close call, but this is a chance for FIT to fight back.
Question mark? But yeah, that was a big misplay. It probably cost them a kill. They could have gotten it onto Mint, but there, because of the missed Call of the Forge God headbutt ricochet, they're not able to get it. It would have been really useful for either.
That would have been a great cleanup. Maybe 2 kills could have been achieved from that flash. Great teleport play, but a misplay with ultimates.
This gives Ashira a little bit of free time to feast on some minions in the top lane. And this also gives him a little bit of a good back timer compared to Cell, who had to teleport respawn back. But look at that, Babyface, knowing that Mint has to recall and back off, gives the blue buff of FIT over to Sarah. This is a huge boon.
Now it's the opposite. Now it's going to be Babyface removing the resources, putting some revenge to the jungle of FIT.
Definitely just being able to be ahead. Seems like Babyface right now is in his comfort zone, being able to pressure out Mint here.
Oh, finally, an Ornn that I see not rushing the Righteous Glory, getting the Catalyst and the Cloak, going for the Abyssal Mask.
There's definitely a lot of bonus magic damage, as well as being able to protect himself from the damage of the Cho'Gath when he's not using Feast.
And not just that, the Eternal passes from the Catalyst really benefits his passive, where he can just shop anywhere in the map.
Since consumables, you can't buy consumables by using Living Forge, and that regeneration really helps him out. Just stay in lane forever and then buy your core items when you're when the Cho'Gath still hasn't even recalled, and that's really a powerful passive.
Very powerful passive that Cell can abuse, but for Ashira, he will be abusing the ultimate Feast, where he gets more and more health. But as he gets more and more health, he'll be dealt more damage, and he's not picking up any magic resistances for the Ornn. So
he's really doubling down and trying to stop Babyface and Espiegel. But this is a huge mixed damage team. There's true damage and physical damage from Espiegel, magic and physical from Sarah, and mixed damage as well from Cell. Babyface is the biggest physical damage threat here.
And when he's Shadowcane form, he can clearly just pick up the Zaya, or
even Set here on the Azir.
I'm not sure on the Azir, because we're talking about the Emperor's Divide.
We're also talking about the Featherstorm. So either way, he needs to find a way for the rest of this team to bait out the self-peel of either the Azir or the Saya.
Could he go, let's say, the Red King? Could he go maybe Ross in this case?
That could be possible to...
that's present onto the bot lane, but quick response from Espiegel from the bot lane. The first blood goes to UST Talon Tigers.
I do think that Red Cane is more powerful in almost every situation. Even though in the Runefree Forge, assassins are stronger, you're talking about fighting a Cho'Gath and a Sejuani, and I think the sustain and just the general damage to shred them down will be able... And the sheer damage scaling of Red Cane as well is actually higher than Shadow Cane. It's just that the passive of Shadow Cane pulls him above in terms of burst damage, but sustained damage against Set and Neil, Darkened form is definitely the way to go.
Yes,
we'll see once he collects enough souls.
We'll see, and I really do agree with you when it comes to picking up the red cane, because that's going to be a huge bonus in CC, lockdown, and the regeneration that the cane can receive from being the red cane.
The Darken form is powerful, but for now he hasn't completed it. Sarah has the package. He can possibly go for something against Seth or another lane. That is a huge tool in terms of pressure.
Ooh, pressure. Right now the pressure's onto the bot lane, because you do not want to let Espigo snowball. Not from his champion, but from his personality as a player. He
Definitely.
just
jumps in.
He just jumps in. It clearly benefits himself when he snowballs, because it's not the champion you should fear that he's using. You should fear himself because of his reckless plays. But that's a huge gamble he's willing to take. It does work somehow, but
very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. More on with risks.
And seemingly in the last game, there was such high reward. And here, he is using Vayne, one of the highest risk, highest reward champions you can ask for in the marksman role. And he has so much support system as well in terms of Crescio and Cell to just frontline and keep everything in place for him to tumble around.
So again, to the question with the Cho'Gath pick against the Ornn. Ornn has the Forge Gun, a really useful tool when you're catching the enemy by surprise.
Especially in a choke point.
But now you have this Cho'Gath. Can the Righteous Glory Rush even be beneficial towards this Cho'Gath?
Babyface trying to take out Min.
Min, though, however, does reconnect with his top lane. Will just be giving away
a little bit of pressure. Could be going for the turret. Could just be counter jungling and pissing Mint off. But either way, it is going to be a lot of pressure onto this top lane, leaving Cell to just push this with his Demolisher.
Yeah.
Making good use of that rune.
Yeah. I mean, when you're just going to be pestering the jungler, but hold on thought, Espigo pops the final
Is he
hour.
gonna 1v2?
1v2, here comes D, pops the Monsoon, gets the heal onto Neil, still not yet backing up without dealing some extra blows. Oh wait,
let's be careful.
Ah, come on, the flash was a bit too
here comes Babyface.
I mean, Neil just used the flash to escape from the Vayne, but now Maypin priced onto the Cane. That's going to be heal pop in the barrier too. There's the Eye of the Storm forward, extra shield, and now it'll be Babyface trying to back up, but here comes the Leona. The Forge Gun is coming in. 2-3-man knockup from the Forge Gun, and UST will be fighting back FIT for a double kill onto Espigo. 1-3 trade in favor of the Talon Tigers.
Man, Babyface right there thought he could finish off Neil, but it turns out they had both of the defensive summoner spells up. He costs his life, but right there, I think FIT didn't think that the rest of UST might be responding, and there with a teleport Cell, Call of the Forge God gives his team 3 kills as well as this turret.
I mean, we get talking about the Forge God, how it can be used in choke points. But now let's talk about the Feast. How can it be used in a team way?
Yeah, it could be used as a burst potential that is a ton of true damage.
But you're talking about a Leona and a Vayne with a Condemn, possibly the red game, but let's see the replay.
Let's see the replay first. And here, he does miss his Blade's reach, and he's dealing a lot of damage here. But in the background, the teleport comes in. Here he buys a lot of time actually by jumping into the wall and trying to escape. And here, because he led them to that point in the lane, the Call of the Forge God was able to hit 3 people, knock up 2, and that just gives all of the kills to their AD carry, and that's really what UST was looking for.
And with that said, the warnings towards FIT will not be pushing through, because this Vayne is 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. Blade of the Ruined King. He is ahead. He has Leona by his side. That's definitely a pain to deal with. And FIT really needs to double their efforts if they actually want to take him out.
I wonder if Babyface has some grudges from the past game here. Clearly, he is not letting this Sejuani, clearly not letting Mint have a good time in the jungle, but in the bot lane, that's going to be Espigo doing what he loves best, going on to members, doesn't
5
care,
kills.
Gets the double kill.
That is definitely a lot. Actually, the kill onto Neil was actually essentially a solo kill, no help at all from Crescio, and that's just sheer mechanics and aggressiveness. I think Babyface is actually going for the Darkened Cane because he should have enough souls right now, but I think he's waiting it out because he's been ganking bot lane and set as well, that he might be going for the Darkened form to wait out the 3 minutes. And when for now, Mountain Drake.
But yeah, when you're talking about the time based in this game itself, as the time progresses, we are seeing that Sarah picking up the trade force. We're seeing the Vayne picking up a lot of juicy items. I mean, 5 kills already in 15 minutes into the game is something that you want to avoid if you want to win this game. Now we're seeing FIT making the mistake and clearly giving all the resources to this Vayne.
Man, and he will be building into that Ginsu's Rage Blade very soon.
Oh, he's getting Ginsu?
Probably. He has the recurve bow as well as the pickaxe.
Oh my god, that's a nightmare brewing for FIT.
That is just a lot of mixed damage.
Cell has the Forge God ready to call. He does call, and here comes the respawn from his team, and does not get the knockup. He did get the permafrost at the last second as Spiegel trying to find the right time to go in. Waits for that.
Oh, that's 2 members.
2 ultimates, 2 stuns. That is what UST is looking for.
Oh man, that Solar Flare was on point, stunning 2 targets, allowing Spiegel to get another kill as FIT tries to overreach. Cell survives through all of that, and now they have top lane priority, mid lane priority. Everything is just being taken in UST's favor, and FIT left with nothing so far.
So with that being said, with the turret taken down by UST Talon Tigers, 2 turrets in the hands of UST, FIT have nothing. And with Seth gets the divide, and great timing with a flash, and does miss the rocket, but the flash by Babyface, probably an unnecessary flash. Just
there to actually secure the kill.
I'm pretty sure at this point UST, they're just playing against each other, because at this point you want to give the kill to Sarah, but Babyface says no, I want the kill for myself. And these are, you know...
Now they're going to pressure this mid lane as well.
Yeah, these are the crucial moments for the UST to try and secure more control. But for FIT, I want to see those ultimates connect. I want to see teamwork. I want to see those macro plays come to work for FIT Itameras, because I'm not seeing this Cho'Gath working with the Sejuani, working with the Azir, enabling their teammates.
Could just have a lot of burst damage and frontline tankiness for FIT. Just allow Neil to get a few kills, get him to actually receive gold. Get set to receive gold, but so far it's almost nothing in FIT's pockets, and I think UST is just going to play around this FIT deficit by taking every single thing on the map that's available.
I wonder what happened with the Cho'Gath. I thought he would be rushing the Righteous Glory, but immediately changes his mind.
It's a lot of component items.
Yeah, goes for the Catalyst. Now goes for the non-component of Righteous Glory. If he had the Righteous Glory, then possibly could have bursted one key member, but it's all up to Z, the Emperor of Shurima. Let us see if FIT Itameras will be fighting back thanks to the Azir. He will be finishing up his Nashor's Tooth, but at this moment, this point in the game, this Corki has 2 items. What can the Itameras do, Atlas?
They definitely need to find a way where UST is at its most vulnerable. Like I said, this composition that UST has a loss of sustained damage, but there are points in the volley of bullets and arrows and bolts that they put out that they have moments of weakness, and FIT has to take advantage of that. Like if Sarah is going low on ammo for his ultimate, if Spiegel runs out of invisibility, if they can survive that, or if they can find him when he's not invisible because of Final Hour, that's the signal for Mint and Ashira to go for one of them, and then Neil can follow up with their sustained damage along with Seth. But so far, I'm not seeing any sort of coordination from FIT.
But for itemization-wise, Cho'Gath finally finished up the first item, the Righteous Glory pickup. But when you're talking about the Vayne with the only getting the Guinsoo and the Bork, the Blade of Ruined King, what can happen here is that I'm pretty sure that at this point of the game, when you pick up a Righteous Glory that late, you might as well just give it up.
Yeah.
Go for something like more defensive to really go into hit the fight. But a Cho'Gath without a Righteous Glory is practically useless. Can't even get close to them.
And just keep getting kited, especially with the Corki with a Triforce and Vayne with tumbling around, being invisible, it's definitely hard for the Cho'Gath to be relevant. And yeah, I do think the Righteous Glory, it's a lose-lose situation right now for their top laner. Because one, they get the Righteous Glory, it doesn't really do much. But the other don't get Righteous Glory, and he's even more irrelevant in this game. So I think the way he played the lane, and actually the Cho'Gath pick, as you pointed out, was the biggest was a big mistake.
It's a suicide pick in my opinion.
Yeah, it didn't really work out at all, or whatever they were planning.
I mean,
if they were planning at all.
You would see an Ornn and you pick a Cho'Gath that clearly works against you in lane,
Yeah.
not just in lane, also in the team fights. Because what can match the clash potential of an Ornn compared to a Cho'Gath?
Definitely nothing in Cho'Gath's kit except for the silence, which doesn't even matter that much, and the feast. And at that point, the feast doesn't deal enough damage to be relevant against all the lifesteal, all of the kiting,
all of the shield,
yeah, all of the shields as well, and the protection that the Leona can put out. So it's I think at this point, it's very difficult. And if FIT continues playing like this, I think UST has it in the bag, and I think at this point FIT has to start thinking, how are we going to go about our next games? How are we going to switch up our practicing, our team dynamic? Because so far I don't see a lot of synergy between the members looking at this game and looking at their performance from last week.
Is it a bit too early to say that FIT has lost Atlas, because the Baron has not yet been spawned. They were just about to take the Rift Herald, and I think FIT still has some fight in them to try and fight back, because at this point they have to shake things off. They do not want to end another week with a 0-2.
That's definitely not something that they want. They could channel that cornered animal thing, where a cornered animal is at its strongest, it's most dangerous. But it's true, and if they're going to try and get this win, take this win away from UST, they're going to have to try and work for it. They're going to have to not get caught like this.
They just get caught like that, but they got like going into Espigo. And going back to what you were talking about, being cornered, I don't think the pressure is doing good. Finally getting killed, but the ultimate has been wasted. But now the Rift Herald gets spawned.
3 members invested to take out Sarah, but all that during that time, Rift Herald was summoned in top lane. It's actually not been damaged from that initial charge, and this inhibitor turret will fall very, very quickly.
Not even lasting. The Forge God will be closing in, locks up 2 members, especially Desire, pops that better spot, cannot make it alive without his flash, pops that flash, the Emperor's Divine is there. Ooh, look at Espigo just flashing in fearlessly onto these here, despite the monster. Espigo is still not yet giving up, and with Neil finally getting those kills, those feather stacks he needs for a double kill on the Espigo, it could be probably FIT training of 2 members for the 2 for UST.
And a little bit of overconfidence there for UST. They did only lose a total of 3 members in those 2 separate fights in top lane and bot lane. But that is one of the moments of weakness that FIT can take advantage of if they're left separated from each other. Because I don't think UST should have taken that fight. They should have just taken the turret and then went out, because at that point one of their main DPSs was gone. I don't think Babyface also was too impactful in that fight. He had a few knockups, but he wasn't able to deal enough damage and sustain himself to be super relevant. But in any case, UST is still way ahead of this. 40k to 30k. That's a 9k. That's around 9k gold lead for UST, and they can continue working with that. But FIT has to recover from it by constantly doing those pickoffs, being able to rotate around the map to outsmart UST if they ever make the mistake of splitting up.
But with that said, they will be spotted out the blue side of their jungle, popping that flash for Zed. And I think at this point they have to wait for Zed, because at that flash pop, I saw the moment where Zed really shined. But yeah, again, talking about getting picked up here, that would be a very easy pickup here for UST Talon Tigers. There's a knockup from the Red Cane. Here comes the Security for the help, but I think that's a delivery service for the Cane immediately in front of these here. And there is the Emperor's Divide. This could be Sid really popping up at this moment. This could be the FIT's turning point.
Where's Sarah?
Where's Sarah? It's not yet there. But the Azir will be chunking so much health. Looks like Sid finally making the plays, getting the killing spree kill, getting the kills, getting the goal for his team.
Wait, he is getting the goal for his team, but if he was there along with the Spiegel, that would have just been FIT wiped out. But there they dive. That wasn't even 4v5 because Spiegel was lagging behind in terms of the distance. That was 3v4 or 5 essentially. Let's take a look at how everything played out in that top lane fight. Here, they get... it's not really a good forward god except for getting the brittle stack on Neil. However, this is still in the end a 4v4 that transitions to the 4v5, and Set is being so impactful here with the Emperor's Divide to delay the movement of the rest of UST as well as deal lots of damage with the soldiers.
And look at Z's position, getting the kill, the regeneration from the monsoon. He doesn't even need to move.
He just needs to stay in that area, let the Sand Soldiers do the work.
Just like a king.
So right now, the Baron will be the important target here. I still don't know why Sarah is so far away from his team. He is pulling pressure, but right now, this needs to be a 5v5 because at that point, UST can just overpower FIT anytime.
But for FIT, they do not want to look for 5v5 because it was... I don't think for Zed he would have survived that long because look at that Vayne. 0 death.
And then just cleanse out of any sort of
Oh
CC.
my god, look at the CC. He's being choked by this. Okay, there's the knockoff onto 2 members here, but no follow-up. That would be the Forge God being used, but the cooldown is relatively low.
Especially since he's able to just... he has a lot of CDR in his pocket. Let's look at another replay here. This is where they get wiped, because this is a 3v3, but they don't have their main damage dealer, which is a Spiegel. They also don't have their Corki, so it's definitely just them biting off more than they can chew. And that's also their mid laner not responding immediately to the threat of his team possibly being wiped out.
And could this be UST being a bit more complacent at this point of the
Possibly.
game? It's really bad to be complacent when you're ahead, and this could be a chance for your enemy team to bounce back.
Now, they are still, however, 9,000 gold ahead. They just have to translate that into 5v5s, where there's sheer damage from two fed 80 carries. You can just continue and take out FIT. But FIT, they have this chance. If UST continues to be complacent like this, to play complacent like this, then there's a very good chance the Death Timers could carry them. But they have to stop being
careful.
caught.
They get caught again in the red side of the jungle. There's the monster to the border reset. Meanwhile, Neo is trying his best to stack those feathers up. And look at Z. That's the choke point where FIT can win. But as Spiegel goes in with the final hour, not much work there thanks to the Emperor's Divide. There's the Forge Gun knocking back 2 members of FIT. And that would be the Divide not being used correctly. And that would be the shot down for Spiegel. Getting the ace, gets the triple kill.
Seems like they will just continue going for these.
He dies.
He dies from the turret, but that's still going to be the Demolisher on Cell being to take out at least
there goes
one.
his perfect KDA.
That's 13-1 right now, but he's still quite ahead. Maybe they can get another turret for this one. They don't have their one of their 80 carries, so it's not as fast. They do have 2 Mountain Drakes, and Sarah is pushing very, very quickly on that top side, going for the inhibitor, going for the juggler. But it seems like they didn't focus their efforts enough to actually take out more structures.
And with that said, the Sejuani will be the first one to respawn. I thought the Divide was used. The reason why the Vayne could not move forward, but it turns out it could be Cell's rupture, the wall itself. A very small wall can really deny you that path.
Yeah, got blocked by his own teammate there. But let's look
see
at the replay.
For how he got blocked.
Yeah, but as for this one, yeah, this is the positioning. D gets himself caught between a rock and a hard place. Ashira tries to go in, but not from a very advantageous angle. This is a great spot for Neil to have Feather Stormed and then Blade Caller. But he didn't have a good angle as well. But Set is also dealing a lot of damage there. And here, a bit of a missed angle for the Forge God, and that is a very weird Emperor's Divide.
Probably he was going for the combo, and he kind of...
There's a lot of pressure during that fight. Yeah. This could be the game-ending fight if they screw it up. But it's there. Unfortunately for UST, a Spiegel does fall to the turret, and they can't get like 2 inhibitors from that. They should just regroup. Maybe the Baron will be what they need to close out this game, or FIT's turning point.
FIT still has a really strong chance of winning this game. They have to depend on the Azir. If they could just stop being caught, especially in their jungle. But that being said, UST takes away the Baron.
Comes a Shera going for
Oh, flash knockup by Seal to really just kill Zid. The only hope for FIT removed instantly. And I think this is going to be very difficult for FIT to defend. Oh, and that's going to be 3 members down for the count with the Baron in the hands of UST.
Relatively long death timers as well. Only Neil and his support D are the chances of defending against this. The 2 inhibitors are exposed for UST. And they are going to demolish this very, very quickly. Going for the Nexus turrets as well. That is their next target. 10 seconds on Mint, 15 seconds on set. Will it be enough? Those turrets are falling very, very quickly. Look at that. Spiegel just continuing to slaughter them. Neil goes down. And I think this is game as Seth does not respond in time to actually defend his base. And UST makes it a 2-0 against FIT.
What a game it was. FIT's hope of winning was immediately removed because of Cell's quick positioning with the flash and knocks up to the air the Azir and instantly removes it from the fight.
Man, that was a slaughter at the end there, and that was a very convincing victory from UST. However, I can't say it was clean. They had a lot of mistakes by putting Sarah alone in a different lane without the package. That was quite a mistake, and this cost them a few team fights and a few objectives. However, FIT was not able to consolidate enough power around their AD carry and their mid laner to really take advantage of the moments of weakness that UST had.
I think it was just FIT really falling to the pressure, especially when the Baron was being taken away. At the time they responded, the Baron was already taken away. So with that being said, I think this is a very impressive second week for all teams here. And the return of the actually, today was the debut of the champions of the LCL, the Operation Esports, also securing their game with a 2-0. Now UST secures their game with a 2-0 for themselves. Great play for all teams here, and I'm pretty excited to see what is going to be coming up for the next week.
From the last week, and let's look at how the results of everything here by looking at the standings, because from the first week it was a lot of 1-1s, but here we have two 0s, and all of that results into Monster Developer the Game and Talon Tigers in the lead here with their 4 games. Operation Esports only has 2 games so far, but very convincing with a 2-0. Retaliate 2-2 with 2 1-1 games. Warlocks 1-1 so far. Game Changers 1-3, and Itameros sadly 0-4.
Note that we are only going to be picking the top 3 teams in the LBL to move on to the playoff stage with a gauntlet format. But guys, summoners out there you have it. That has been the second day of the LBL, concluding with the standings as you said, with 3-1s for, I would say, TUP, and then
UST as well.
UST Talon Tigers. So good night everyone, and see you next week for the LBL. We have been the Shotcasters. My name is Vulcan, and with me was Atlas. See you next week for more LBL action. And locks up 2 members, especially the Zaya. Pops that better squad. Cannot make it alive without his flash. Pops that flash. The Emperor's Divide is there. Ooh, look at Espiga just flashing in fearlessly onto these here. Despite the monster, Espiga is still not yet giving up. And with Neil finally getting those kills, those feather stacks he needs for a double kill of the Espiga. Furry service for the K immediately in front of these here. And there is the Emperor's Divide. This could be Zed really popping up at this moment. This could be the FIT's turning point.
Where's Sarah?
Where's Sarah? It's not yet there. But the Azir will be chunking so much health. Looks like Zed finally making the plays, getting the killing spree kill. So there's the corner reset. Meanwhile, Neil is trying his best to stack those feathers up. And look at Zed. That's the choke point where FIT can win. But Espiga goes in with the final hour. Not much work there thanks to the Emperor's Divide. There's the Portugal knocking back 2 members of FIT. And that would be the Divide not being used correctly. And that will be the shot down for Espiga. Getting the ace, gets the triple kill. Oh, flash knockup by Seal to really just kill Zed. The only hope for FIT removed instantly, and I think this is going to be very difficult.
Eagle just continuing to slaughter them. Neil goes down, and I think this is game as Seth does not respond in time to actually defend his base, and UST makes it a 2-0 against FIT.
What a game it was. FIT's hope of winning was immediately removed because of Cell's.
Man.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.